The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman. It is Wednesday, January the 3rd. We're just rolling right along here in 2024, getting the Cowboys ready for their regular season finale against the Washington Commanders. And that'll be Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Time, 3:30 Central. Should be a good one. Cowboys taking on Washington, the Giants and Eagles playing at the exact same time. NFL does that on purpose. Make sure that everyone plays their guys. So the Cowboys, obviously, if they win, they will be the NFC East champions, regardless of what happens with the Giants game. If the Giants do beat Philadelphia, then the Cowboys will also win. And then both teams tie. If that happens, then both the Cowboys would win that as well based off of tiebreakers. The only scenario the Cowboys do not win the NFC East is if they lose to Washington and the Eagles beat the Giants. So don't even worry about that. Cowboys got to take care of business against Washington. They lost 7 in a row. Obviously, they're going to try to bring it here for this last game. It is a little interesting, though, scenario with the Commanders have the number 2 overall pick. I think if they win, based off of some other things, they could be the 4th pick. So if they lose, they will be the number 2 pick. So there's probably some people in the organization that want that. Of course, the head coach, he's probably not going to be around, so he didn't really care about that. So interesting. All right, so the Cowboys are going to be going up that way, and I think our first 2 callers are from that way in Virginia. We're going to get to that. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Let's start us off with Irene in Virginia.
Hey, Nick, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. I'm excited for this game.
Are you going?
Yeah. I am going. I got the tickets pretty much as soon as the Eagles lost. I was like, getting those tickets.
What's the weather forecast?
So it's much better than when it's okay. So
Right.
I get the tickets and I look, not in the right order, but anyway, it was calling for 10 inches of snow, and I was like, we never do that. Anyway, no, it's fine. It's going to be cold. The high is 44 around 3 o'clock, so there's going to be a little bit of wind. That's one thing that's concerning me a bit, but no precipitation anymore, so that's helpful.
Nice.
Yeah, the wind, we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to die down too. So
Okay. All right.
we'll see, but it'll be chilly for sure.
That's fine.
You had me rolling yesterday with the analogy about the onion rings. I was like, this is exactly it.
I mean, if you put your order in and they don't get it wrong, I mean, that's on you. You just heard it. So, yeah.
Yep. The one person who did absolutely nothing wrong is the Cowboys. That's what I was saying about. I'm like, don't give us flack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I have a point to that after your call. I'm going to I didn't say yesterday that I think maybe we can just put an end to all this. But what else is on your mind? What else you got?
So I wanted to give you, now this is a little bit short-term trivia, so it actually might be harder for you, I guess, from what you say. Because my first game ever there was 2019, and then, of course, I said, I'm never going to miss a game, and, of course, the next year was COVID, so we all missed that game, except for you.
I was there.
Yeah, you were. But the trivia from that 2019 game, can you name the big play, yardage, and player on offense?
2019. See, that's my problem. Is because if you would have said 1983 when I was 7, I could tell you. But 2019, like that one isn't ringing a bell. That wasn't the rain game, was it? Where it was raining. That was 17. I don't know. What was the score of the game?
Oh, you know what? I don't know that.
Yeah. So
it was a good score for us. We won it.
We won 2019 up there. I can remember all that if I just kind of remember the game. That's my problem. The short-term memory's not good. So.
Well, it was in September, so it was one of the few ones lately that we've actually had in good weather.
I'm gonna get this. Let me just. I just need to see the score. I need to see the score of the game. Okay. All right. So 31-21, week 2. Actually, okay. I got it. So the Cowboys win that game. The player you're talking about is an obscure player?
Yep.
Devin Smith.
Yes.
Devin Smith caught like a 50-yard touchdown over the middle, to win. I mean, not to win the game. I think this game was not as close as the score. I think they were blowing him out earlier. Yeah, Amari Cooper had a couple touchdowns, maybe. Sorry, took me a little bit to remember that one, but yeah.
That's okay. Yep, it was Devin Smith.
Devin Smith.
1 yard, and it was beautiful.
I thought Devin Smith was going to be a pretty good player, honestly.
I did too.
Because he got a lot of speed. He had that speed I had always been talking about. So, all right.
My only question for you today, and I can take it off. That's fine. Jacoby Brissett. I don't think there's any reports on if he's playing. I think that matters, but not that Sam Howell didn't beat us last year. But
yeah.
Anyway, if you could discuss that, would be great. And thank you.
All right, I appreciate that. Dan Quinn said that they're going to be preparing for two quarterbacks this week. They haven't made an announcement, and they probably won't. Those old school coaches like that think that matters, and maybe it does. So they'll be preparing for both. But I mean, let's be honest. It's not like you're preparing for like Brady or like Manning. I mean, it's Brissett or Sam Howell. So you should be able to win the game. Neither one of them should really hurt you that bad. Obviously, different type of quarterback, but I think the Cowboys should be fine there. My point I was going to make about that 68 eligible, 70 whatever. Chris Beam and I looked at this play yesterday after the show, and just remember this part that number 70 Dan Skipper, who used to play for the Cowboys, or at least was at training camp with the Cowboys. 70 was the one that was reported eligible, and he lines up at the tackle position. And Damone Clark and Marquise Bell are right in his face. They're all over. I mean, he's not going to do anything. Now, he's not trying to do anything, but he's not going to do anything. And the point to that is he was the guy that they announced as eligible, so keep an eye on him. He's not going anywhere. If 68 was the guy they would have announced, don't think that he's just going to sneak to the back of the end zone and catch a touchdown pass like he did. So that's the thing. I mean, that's what's getting lost in some of this. Is that it was just going to be a touchdown. The Cowboys are just going to play it the exact same way. Doesn't work that way. All right, Shelby in Virginia is our next caller. Virginia's dominating here. What's up?
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing real good. I'm going to the game this week. I also, my dad and I called in before the first command.
Yeah.
So I wanted to.
Counted it as 2 calls.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're still the only people to do that.
Yeah.
But,
where is he?
I've got 2 extra tickets, so I wanted to know if I've heard a bunch of people from Virginia. If you wanted to have a giveaway, otherwise I'll sell them. But if there's a way you could do it on the show, I thought that'd be fun.
That would be interesting. The phones are gonna be lighting up here. So I don't know how we do that. That's what you want to do? You want to throw it out there, and if a caller calls in.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if anybody wants them, my Twitter is Shelby James BSP. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but I'd rather see them go to a Cowboys fan. So
well, you just by throwing it out there right there, that's probably going to take care of it right there. It's just somebody's going to hit you up. I hope are they electronic tickets?
Yes, yeah, I can transfer them pretty easily. So
okay, well, and I don't want to be that person. No, never mind. I'm not going to ask that person. That's cool. They're in the stadium, right?
Yeah, they're in the section right by the away tunnel. 114. So
nothing irritates me more when you ask someone, you're like, "Hey, would you like tickets to the game?" They're like, "Yeah, cool." What section are they in? They're in the free section. That's the one. So
yeah, 5. Yeah, no, they're lower level. But I also wanted to just say I'm a huge fan, and I'm ashamed to say I haven't read your books yet. So I just ordered If These Walls Could Talk.
Oh.
I'm going to bring it to the stadium. I'm going to be hanging out when the team gets off the buses. If you wanted to sign it, I know you're on the clock, so there's literally zero pressure.
I'll sign it. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be in the stadium? Are you going to take it to the stadium, or are you taking it to the hotel?
We will be at the stadium where the buses unload.
Okay. All right. I'll be on the first bus.
Okay, awesome.
I'll be on the first bus. We'll get there at 1:30. This doesn't seem like a conversation to be having on the air, but whatever. Anyways.
No, it's fine. Yeah, my
right.
dad will be there.
He'll definitely sign it for you.
I'll sign it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll
No
sign
matter
it.
if you go to a bar, if you have his book, he'll sign it.
All right, Chris. All right. It happened in Charlotte.
It did.
It did. It happened. And what's funny is when they're like, "Oh, do you have a Sharpie?" You know, Chris is like, "Oh, he's got his own. He's got his own Sharpies." And you're like, just carry them. No.
Hey, I did not mind. We got free drinks out of it.
Yeah, we did. We did. That's
Oh,
cool.
awesome. I wish I could bring a drink or something.
Nah,
for
it's
y'all.
okay. Game day. You know.
Don't need one on the clock. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I usually don't listen to the first few episodes after a loss, not because the show's not great, but just but I had to go back and listen to because I just kept hearing about the infamous Wednesday show of last. There's a few sound drops that should be vaulted and kept in the Cowboys media sound drops.
Oh, Chris will do that. He's got that. I didn't think it was that bad until the show was over and people were like, "You all right? You all right?" And then my mom called and she's like, "Are you okay?" You know.
No,
it was fine. You know, we were just chatting, but yeah, I did go back and watch it. I was kind of annoying, so.
No.
I mean, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Hey, if this team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, which of course I've never seen them make it to the Super Bowl, the show after that loss, if they lose in the playoffs, that's going to be interesting. I mean, the whole week of shows is going to be interesting. But anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do that first one, but I'll give you a talking point since all I did, pitch myself on Sunday, tickets and whatnot. Just favorite regular season you've covered. Obviously, the playoffs are going to make a few of those painful, but just the best time you've had as a writer covering the team in the regular.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Shelby. I mean, they've all ended with a loss pretty much. I mean, except for like the year when you win your regular season finale, like 2019 or 2017, you're out of the playoffs and you still win. I mean, that's not even fun either. My first one is just so memorable to me. 99 is just so memorable because I didn't know what I was doing. Debatable if I still do, but I mean, just going through and traveling. We're gonna travel to this game with 10 people in our staff. Like our staff has about 10. And that 99 season, it was just me. I mean, it was just me. I was the only person kind of doing that, and so I didn't know what I was doing. And that season was interesting because they won the first road game, and then they lost every other road game that year. So they were 7-1 at home and 1-7 on the road. So you talk about a different, this team's a good road team or a bad road team and a good home team. That 99 team, I mean, that was like two different teams. A lot of stuff happened. Emmett, Troy, Michael, all were there. Dion. So that 99 is still, though, the most memorable because you got to remember 10 years before that or 9 years, I'm a young kid in, high school and stuff, and I'm cheering for Troy and Dion and Michael and Emmett. Maybe not Dion then, but you know what I mean. I love Dion, even when he didn't play for the Cowboys. And so then in 99 to be in the locker room, like, wow, like I'm covering this team, these guys. So that was always still the most memorable because of, just kind of a pinch yourself type moment. All right. Ali in Florida.
Good morning,
Ali.
Nick.
Good morning. Oh, do you have trivia for me?
Not today.
Okay, good.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm working on it. It's for you and Chris. You
All right.
can combine it together.
Yeah.
If you get it right, I will send you the most awesome wildlife image
Oh,
that you will love for both of you.
yeah.
So just to stay tuned.
Okay.
I got home from Africa. I mean, made it to the game. What a freaking game! I like this close game. It's so nerve-wracking, but the result was great. Couple things. I heard you said yesterday you had a cough. I would suggest ask Derek to give you your own personal microphone. And I don't know, you guys have it or use the same microphone, but everybody breathe into it. But you're not alone. I have a cough everywhere, internationally, everywhere I go. Everybody has that cough, and nobody knows what it is. So I just want to give you that. Then I was looking at this draft order. I don't know, you already covered it in the show now. Washington is number 2 at 4-12. Then it's Pat and Cardinal tied up. Then you got Giants, Chargers, and Titan at 5-11. If they win, they're going to drop down to 7 or 8 position. And I know the new owner, they want to start the new beginning, and all this quarterback on top of the draft. I would like to know what goes on behind the scene, but the players, they just want a revenge because the both times Cowboys beat the hell out of them. It's just like they are ready to just like spoil it for us. And the last take I have is they cover up the Detroit game, and I think personally I'm so insulted by Campbell to go to that low class, confuse the Cowboys or referee. It's just like, come on, man, your team is good enough.
But
Don't do this hideous stuff.
But they weren't.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, all right. All right. Thanks for the call, Ali. Good points. Good points. Listen, I covered Dan Campbell when he was here. I liked him as a player, and I've seen him a couple times over the years at the Senior Bowls and combines. When he was coaching, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I like the way he does it. He coaches just like he played, and he wasn't the most talented guy, most athletic, but that fire and grit that you see as a coach is what he did as a player to kind of get him to that point. And he coaches that way. So I don't think it was low class. The Cowboys are the better team than the Lions. I don't care what anyone says. They're better than Detroit. Not by a lot. And if they go to Detroit, if they had to play in Detroit, it would be a really tough game. But I think we all, if CeeDee Lamb can score a touchdown to go up 14-3, who knows what that score is going to be. The Cowboys were better than Detroit. And I know it, you guys know it, and Dan Campbell knew it. Dan Campbell knows that. I'm going to go score right now because I'm not going to overtime and trying to stop CeeDee Lamb again. Not doing it. I don't think it's low class. Trick plays are trick plays. They tried to do it. They tried to get cute. Didn't work. But as I said earlier, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have mattered. The Cowboys are still going to cover that. So, no, are they going to be all on sides? Who knows? All right. Here we go. We got Bryce in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, how's it going, Nick?
How you doing, man? First time?
Good. First time caller, and I've texted a few times too.
Here we go. All right. Thanks, Bryce. What do you got?
Yeah. So I was looking back at one of the messages I sent you, and right after the bye week and the Eagles lost about, Brandon Cooks and Tyron Smith being the MVP in the second half of the season, and you brought up Dak, and you were right on point. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind with CD, and just kind of want to see where you're at with going into the playoffs, going into Washington, how the defense and offense can help each other a bit more without the bend and break, and what you see Dak Prescott doing and what needs to happen over the next few weeks.
All right, I will. Thanks, Bryce, for the call. Can we get a here we go for Bryce? Chris, we busy? Chris is manning the phones.
No, it went, but it was all screwed up, so I had to fix it. Sorry.
Right. Bryce in Salt Lake
He got
City.
two.
He got two. Awesome. Interesting point about Dak and MVP. He's not going to be the MVP. I think Lamar Jackson's got that one there, but I think he's in the running. And tonight the Pro Bowl comes out, Pro Bowl announcement, and be interesting to see how many Cowboys make it. I'm thinking anywhere from it's got to be 6. 6 would be a travesty if you don't have 6. So we those are easy. That's going to happen. 7. I'm thinking 7 or 8. Because I mean, without a doubt, CD Lamb and Dak and Zach Martin, Micah, Deron Bland, Aubrey. Those 6 are in. I mean, there'll be some explaining to do if that isn't the case. Then after that, Tyler Smith. I think Tyler Smith has a shot. Tyron Smith. I think you need to look at Jake Ferguson, but that's going to be tough. Ferguson though, maybe Turpin doesn't really qualify. Hadn't had a lot of returns as a return specialist. Anger. I mean, Brian Anger's had a really good year. It's quiet because of what Aubrey's done, but Anger is a guy that I think has a good chance as well. So I'm thinking somewhere between 7 or 8, 9 maybe would be a lot, but definitely has to be 6 tonight. And as Dak's played great, but I'll say this about the playoffs to answer your question. If they get this number 2 seed, I mean, think about the games they haven't played well in. They haven't played well if it's cold, if it's rainy. Now they got to play in some cold this game, but if you can get the number 2 seed, I mean, your first 2 playoff games, if you get there, are going to be home, and then where? I mean, and then if you go on the road, it's going to be San Francisco, which is, I mean, it's not going to be that cold. It's not going to be snowy. So, I mean, number 2 seed is really important to get out of the cold weather, but ironically, to get there, you got to beat Washington in the cold weather. All right. Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. Hey, I got a couple of questions regarding the move yesterday with bringing La'el Collins back.
Not official. Not official as of this morning. As of right now, this show, 10:22 a.m. Central. I don't believe the Cowboys have done that, but I think that they're going to. La'el thinks they're going to. But.
Oh, man. And I don't know where I saw it. I saw that they signed him to the practice squad already.
And they probably will, and that's what they're going to do. But from what I was told before we went on, that he probably won't be on the practice squad when they go to practice here in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
But it's probably going to happen. So let's answer the question.
Well, my question is, 2 parts. One is, how do elevations work once the season is over? Like, you only get 3 during the year. Does it change for the playoffs?
Yeah.
And then my other question is, I want to know your opinion, and then what do you think the team's going to do? So, for me, I think he's better than Adoga. He's probably better than Adoga now, even though he hadn't played all year. I mean, I know he's going to have to shake the rust off, but Adoga just scares me on the left side. I mean, that was just terrifying watching that game.
He's got junkyard dog. That's what La'el Collins has, and that's what this team needs. And so I don't know, from the practice squad elevation, if you're going to just be a backup or whatever, but if he has to play, apparently the workout went really well, considering maybe what they thought he would be. Weight's been an issue for him, and you're not playing all year long, and then to be this point in the season and be ready to have that kind of workout, that was impressive. So I think he will be on the team. I think he will be on the practice squad, and they can elevate him. But you have another question?
Okay. Yeah, no, I just had an old-timer for you. I hadn't asked you about a staff member in a while. You gave us the Barry Church marshmallow candy story. So I was wondering if maybe you had a story on Jesse Holley, and I'll hang up. Have a great day, brother.
Yeah, well, I have a documentary on Jesse Holley that we did from reality.
Thanks for watching.
From Hollywood. From reality to Hollywood. It was the documentary, yeah. Jesse's story is amazing. I mean, it's there's just no other way to say it. I mean, really, when you think about it. Now, to me, the movie Invincible, okay, with Mark Wahlberg and the Eagles, and he's a special teams guy. The moment of the movie, I mean, he makes like a special teams tackle against the Giants. I mean, that's the movie. Like that's the point. So, played 3 years or whatever. Vince Papale was his name. But Jesse Holley's story is just as good, if not better. I mean, because all that stuff you see in the movie, who knows if that's real or not? I don't know. But I know the stuff that Jesse went through is just phenomenal. To a reality TV show. I mean, that's never been done. It's never been done to get a spot on a team. You know, Michael Irvin's reality show, and he wins it, and then gets there and you know, and to me though, not the 49er game. The 49er game is not the one where, you know, the 77-yard catch. That would be the end of the movie, right? He does that. But the one that got him on the map that was kind of so crazy was the Minnesota preseason Minnesota in like 2010, where it's the last game. He hasn't done a whole lot in the preseason, probably not going to make the team or the practice squad. And a punt just bounces. He's not the returner. It just bounces right to him. He's like the jammer guy on the side. Bounces right to him, picks it up, he turns, runs 75 yards for a touchdown. The Cowboys win the game against Minnesota. He makes the practice squad. Just the irony of what happens when the ball bounces your way. That ball hadn't been bouncing Jesse Holley's way his whole life, and it bounces right to him. What do you do with an opportunity? You take it to the house, and you score. And that right there, that's what opened everything up for Jesse Holley to me. If you haven't seen the documentary, it's great. And here's another thing about it, is that Jesse was a producer for us on that. He made that thing happen. He drove us around New Jersey and these places, and he set up all the interviews. It was phenomenal. And I'm so disappointed that we didn't win an Emmy for him. It was nominated, but it didn't win, and I'm so disappointed because he would have won it, and he deserved it. His story is amazing. So I don't know if that was the story you wanted me to tell, but that's the only thing I could think of when you ask about Jesse Holley. All right, Bruce in Houston.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking my call. That's a pretty cool story. That's what I like about you. You've got all these little back stories that we don't get to know, unless we know the man personally.
Sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Sure.
You kind of stole my thunder a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's setting up nice for Dallas, like you said. Weather-wise, the first two rounds, if they get through them, they just got to. I would hope Dallas takes it out of Washington. Takes their heart out right off the bat.
Yeah.
If they do, then all the better. My question to you, because they've got it set up, they should be able to at least get to the championship game. I mean, I know the teams they're going to play are tough. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to play the Rams or even Seattle at this juncture.
Packers.
But at home, I'll take my chances, or the Packers. I'll take my chances with all of them.
Oh, yeah.
The team that we can't get over is San Francisco, and until we do that. So my question to you is, and I'm not Debbie Downer today, if McCarthy doesn't get them to at least that, I just don't know how you can go on with him, especially with his clock management that he's done since he's been here, really.
Yeah.
I wanted you to talk about that. I love the Collins pickup because I think we need the depth, and you said it, he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he could probably play left guard if he had to, because I believe he is more of a guard than tackle, correct?
Yeah. And he probably right now would just hadn't played a lot. I would think guard might be better for him.
I think so too. And they're covering their bets in case, Smith can't go or the other Smith gets hurt. So smart play by Dallas. Cook, I was listening to guys this morning there, half of them are for it and half of them are not. But I believe Dallas had a chance to get him in the free agency and they didn't take a chance then. So that kind of tells us a little bit how they feel. Looking at the draft next year, there's 4 guys that they've got to pick up at least in the third round. First and second, they've got to go linebacker and tackle, I believe. But I'll hang up and listen.
All right.
Good show.
All right,
Good
thanks.
show, Nick.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Bruce. Remember, like, the price for he signed a 1-year, $7 million contract. Dalvin Cook did for with the Jets. So that might have been, the reason too. I mean, the Cowboys, they may have called. They would have been like, "Hey, what are we looking at here?" And he said, "Yeah, this is what we're going to get with the Jets or whatever." And so that kind of soured them on it. So as of right now, it would be a little bit different than that. You could still give the guy a $7 million contract right now. You're only going to get 1/18 of it. So or some into the playoffs. But I think that it's a little early. It's a lot early for the draft. But yeah, you see these positions that are going to be in need. and running back's got to be one of them, of course. But, when you're going to be at the end of the first round, and you got to get a good football player. And, they picked for need this year with Mozzie Smith, and so far it hasn't worked out. And so you're going to have, you have to get a good football player. And so we can think that they have all these needs, but you're supposed to kind of take care of some things with free agency, put some Band-Aid on some positions, and then get to the draft and not have to be pigeonholed into saying we got to get this spot. You got to get the running back, got to get a linebacker. Be nice, but what about cornerback? What if you don't re-sign Stephon Gilmore? And what if you got Diggs coming back from an injury, you got Bland, cornerback sitting right there, and whatever pick you're going to pick, that could be big too. So, all right, Dylan, Northport, Florida.
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Morning.
Hey, regarding the last caller, Mike McCarthy, I don't think he goes anywhere regardless of what happens. 3-12-5, assuming we win next week, 3-12-5 seasons, you're going to get a regurgitated head coach, from elsewhere. That's failing, and that's why he's out in the street. And Dak's having his best season in his career, and I don't think that's a coincidence at all whatsoever. Mike's known for his quarterback development, and here you're seeing your quarterback being developed. So I don't think Mike goes anywhere, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly. I mean, you want to build – you're trying to build a foundation here, and he's done that. He has done that. Now, yes, you want to get over the hump, but, who are you going to? Who are you going to bring in that says, all right, what this guy has built and everything, and then boom, put him in there? This is first year calling the plays here with Dak. Dak's had his best year, probably. Dak has his best year of his career. 2016. Come on, 2016. It was not. It was hand the ball to Zeke and take care of things, and he did a really good job. But he's not taking over like he's done here. So. That doesn't make any sense to me, to just get him for who? There's a lot of teams out there that are just right there. They're trying to get to that next level. And I used the Mike Holmgren reference last week, but the Packers for 4 years were building something. They just weren't better than Dallas and San Francisco. And right now, the Cowboys just haven't been better than San Francisco. San Francisco has been better, but that doesn't mean you have to lose your coach for it. That's the way I think. Let's see how it all plays out, though.
Yeah, for sure. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves there. But, I like Michael. I think he's done a good job here. Regarding this run defense, last week was really weird against the Lions. It was like they either had a 10, 15-yard run or it was like a 2-yard loss. There was no in-between at all whatsoever. Micah had a really good game against the ground, which was nice to see because that's been a criticism on him. Mm-hmm. D-Law, obviously, balling out. So these guys play well, and I'm excited when Hankins comes back. Hopefully they can keep playing that way, and some of those larger runs comes down, so it kind of evens that divide a little bit. So hear your thoughts on that. And then Random Cowboy, just in honor of the game against Washington here. It's not a name the Cowboys fans would like to hear, but we'll go ahead and go with Alex Barron and that mess at the end of that one game. Yep. All right, man. I'll hang up and listen. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Alex Barron, tackle that they had from he was drafted by the Rams, and then I think this is 2010 opener he's referring to at Washington, where the Cowboys were driving for the win and threw a touchdown, I think, to Roy Williams. It was called back for a holding on Barron, which was his third of the day. Ironically enough, I was told not too long after that game that he graded out better than any player on that line that day. That just kind of goes to show, just how, penalties matter. And when you're watching, that's what you see. But Alex Barron actually played a really good game. He had 3 holding calls. But the other 65, 70 snaps or whatever graded out really well, despite that. Not that it matters that they lost the game. And in that game, they lost right before the half with a fumble by Tashard Choice. That was kind of crazy. But your point about Hankins is right. Jonathan Hankins, I think, is going to be a big difference maker. He always has been. That's why they traded for him last year. he fixed the run, and then he got hurt, and then they had run issues. Then he came back for the playoffs, and they were better there. Same this year. They've been good. They're just better when he's in there. So Hankins should be able to play this week against Washington. Washington's got they got some physical runners. I think Brian Robinson's back. He's a load to handle. So I think Hankins should be playing this week, and I think that there's a big difference maker when he's in there. All right, Kent in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Good morning, Nick. Hey, I've got a quick question here. I've been watching the other podcasts, and everybody is really skeptical or just outright opposed to bringing Dalvin Cook in for a look. And I was certainly not a fan of signing him in the offseason when it was going to cost several $1 million. But why on earth wouldn't you at least kick the tires on a former All-Pro, seeing the struggles that we continue to have on running?
Well, I mean, you got to see is he a better option for you? Is he a better option than Rico Dowdle running the ball? And I know you think, oh, All-Pro. I mean, former All-Pro. But is he better? I mean, I don't know that. And also that throws a wrench in things a little bit. You bring in a guy like that. I know you don't think special teams matters, but it matters if you're giving up a punt block or something like that. And the reason I say that is, right now their backup running back, Rico Dowdle or whoever it is, plays on special teams. So you bring in a Cook. Now he doesn't do that, and now you just shuffle some things around. Is it worth it? That's all they have to figure out. I mean, because I think we think about names a lot, and I do it. We all do it. Like see the name, you're like, oh man, that would be great. But 31 other teams are seeing this same name, and are they interested? I just don't know if he has it anymore, and that's what they got to figure out. But
but you only 31 other teams isn't an issue at this point, right? Because we're just talking about playoff teams, and then who has a playoff team whose offense is predicated on a run first play action action pass type offense, and
well, I say the 31 teams.
Limit your number down to 5 or 6.
Okay, I say the 31 teams from last year in free agency. I mean, when he was out there too.
No, certainly.
So you're right. I mean, you're not worried about that many teams right now. It's about who could who could he help, and he probably could. I'm not against it. I'm really not. I'm not. I'm just giving you why maybe they wouldn't. I mean, I think they'd be stupid not to kick the tires on and research it and look into it. I think that you have to do that. If they don't do it, they don't do it. I mean, this team has shown though. I think Jerry gets. I think he gets some criticism on the fact of the stuff they haven't done. You see, well, look what the 49ers made a trade and they got Chase Young, or these teams are making all these moves, and Shaq Leonard, they didn't get him done. But if you go back and look at the last couple of years, the Cowboys have made moves like this. They brought in guys like this. Anthony Barr from Minnesota, Jason Peters, Xavier Rhodes, high-profile guys that are out there, and maybe they could help. So it could happen. I mean, it could happen, and it wouldn't be the worst thing if they did that.
Right. All right. I just would like to see him if they could just boost our running game a little bit. Just look into it. I wouldn't just blindly sign the guy, but certainly
look into
at it.
I don't know.
Dowdle is still banged up, and then you're out of elevations for Malik. I like both those guys, but we don't know how banged up Dowdle is, and then with Malik being out of elevations, then you'd have to give up a spot on the 53 to move him up.
I did not answer this question from earlier. From what I was told, the elevations reset in the playoffs. So, Malik Davis, Malik Jefferson, guys like that could fall back into play here. So, but yeah,
have a good one.
All right, thanks, Kent. Good call. All right, let's go to Brian in Louisiana. Brian.
Hey, is this Nick?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
Yeah, I just got a quick question. Now, I know people are still talking about this 2-point conversion stuff.
Uh-huh.
And my question is that what is kind of like, I guess, the timing of from when the refs tell the defense, that 70 is eligible and then announce it on the PA that 70 is eligible, at what point or how much time would Detroit have to say, okay, well, they called the wrong number. Can they do anything at that point?
Yeah, what I think would have happened there is Goff goes over to the official and says, we didn't say 70. We said 68. We didn't say 70. 68 is eligible. Oh, okay. Correction, 68 is eligible. Probably at that point reset the game clock, the play clock. That's what I think. If they made a mistake, and now you're alerting everyone, and now you're stopping the clock. And the fact that Goff had to be like, whoa, that's not true. That's what Detroit didn't want that. So that kind of screwed up the whole plan. So it just didn't work. It didn't work.
So in other words, they basically just kind of rolled the dice and said, okay, well, we're not going to spoil it. We're just going to run with it.
Maybe
they should have probably audible out of it, knowing that they were going to get that penalty because number 68 was no longer eligible. Because the play worked because Dallas wasn't worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If you were told Steph Curry can't shoot the ball, he's not allowed to shoot in the corner, well, you're not going to guard him. And then all of a sudden he gets the ball and he shoots a three, and you're like, wait a second. Oh, no, that wasn't true. It was Clay that can't shoot. Oh, crap. I mean, this is silly. But
okay, man.
All right, Brian.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you. All right. I want to say something else about the reporting, eligible, and stuff like that. This just kind of goes to show just how, like, these quarterbacks, how phenomenal they are. So back in the Philly game on the road, I don't know if you remember, Chuma Edoga came onto the field for a play, and I remember sitting in the press box. It was happened right in front of us. He comes in onto the play. He's not starting. Like he's with backup. And I remember looking over at Derek, and I was like, he hasn't reported. They haven't announced this. Like, what's he doing? And they're about to snap it. And Dak is under center, and he turns to the official under center. And he looked at the official, and he's like, he's making the eligible sign, reporting sign. And nothing happened, so he just snaps the ball, and they run it. And then a flag comes because he didn't report eligible. And I even asked Dak 2 weeks later, I was like, how did you know that Chuma didn't, and he goes, you just got a feel for, you just hear the announcement, and I just didn't remember hearing it. And I'm thinking, when you think about what a play call is, it's like 73 words in a row, to make the call, then the adjustment. You're looking at the safety and the linebacker, identifying the mic. You're getting this guy in motion. You're looking at the clock that it's going down. And then also to think, wait, Chuma didn't report. I mean, that blows my mind that these quarterbacks can do that. And Goff, and maybe in his head, they were saying, Goff, hey, make sure 68 goes over there. But it's just so much. I just have a lot of respect for that, what those guys did. And it reminds me of that play that Dak tried to make there with, he's got 37 things in a row to think about, and that was 38. But that was a bad penalty, too. All right, Joe in New Jersey. Next call.
Hey, Nick. Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Got a couple of different topics here. First one is more of a comment. I feel if we ever would have picked up Derrick Henry when we could have, this team is a completely different team than we are right now. Number two, I feel like this team has struggled without having a vocal leader on offense and defense for like the past 8 years. It feels like we struggle with that vocal leader that's got to, whenever we're behind, where we struggle when we're behind, going to rally the troops to get them juiced up to do what they need to do. It feels like it's something that.
What would you call Dak? What would you call Dak? Is he not a vocal leader?
Maybe I'll stick to defense.
Okay.
I don't think Parsons is that guy. I see maybe Tank is that guy sometimes. Yeah. I just feel like just as a franchise, we haven't drafted those folks, and I feel like that's an area that we've been struggling with. For a bit. I mean, you're closer to the team, obviously. Who could you think on defense that might be the guy? And I just,
it's tough.
I think it's a gap.
Yeah, it's tough. leadership is not easy. Let me ask you, are you still there, Joe?
Yeah.
Who's the best leader the Cowboys have ever had?
We saying offense or defense?
Either.
I'm going to say offense, Troy Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, I'm 41, right? So I'll give you that. I'm talking players I've seen on TV on Sundays. Maybe Woodson. I struggle with finding the Ray Lewis types.
Right.
I haven't seen those types folks in my lifetime as a Cowboys fan.
Would you call Tashard Choice a good leader? No. So no, you wouldn't.
No, I didn't see it enough.
Right.
You would.
No, but Joe, the reason why I'm asking you that is this is why this is a very difficult thing to figure out. It's not a stat. Okay, you don't have a leadership stat. It's you named Troy Aikman, gold jacket. You named Darren Woodson, going to have a gold jacket maybe this year. Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin is one. These are great players who were vocal and loud, and the cameras caught them doing that kind of stuff. So you put that together. But I'm not going to name his name, but the Cowboys had a player about 12 years ago that tried to be a leader. He was the leader of their team on that side of the ball. He was an okay player, and he was the leader. He was a good leader, but he was okay. He was missing plays left and right too. So it's hard to do that if you're not just a badass. And that's the problem with leadership is that, you could say Tank is the leader, and he is. He gets in front of the team and all that stuff, but it's not easy when you don't make all the plays. Micah could be the leader because he makes that many plays. So that's why leadership to me is kind of tricky to define because you're really talking about an awesome player that is also keeps these guys accountable.
Yeah, and of course I don't see all the sideline footage, right? But when we're down, we struggle, right? Like we're struggling to get back when we're down.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps to have that leader that's going to kind of remind folks of our mission and whatnot.
Right.
I see that pregame. I see that. That's just, I appreciate the time, Nick, but that's something that, as a fan, I just wish I'd see that out there. And what are your thoughts on if we would have had a Derrick Henry back, would that make this team a little different with the struggling?
Yeah, it would have made the team better. But for sure, thanks for the call. It would have made the team better. But remember, no team in the league traded for him. And as much as they were sort of talking about it or whatever, nobody pulled the trigger and made that trade. What were they asking for? Maybe it was just too much. So, yes, that would have helped the team. I mean, he would have been better than the backup running backs that you had. Probably going to cost you a first-round pick. And I was actually told that the Cowboys never really discussed it, though. It never got that serious. And I think it's because of the asking price from Tennessee. All right, real quick, Eric in North Carolina.
What's up, Nick? What's up, man? How's it going? Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing very well. Bless you all right, man. But I'll be real quick. I know it's the end of the show.
Appreciate it.
I want your opinion, man. I feel like if the Eagles would have won the other day, that we wouldn't have been having this whole uproar about how the Cowboys won that game. That's just my opinion. I feel like since they lost, they're making an issue out of it more than it really is. And I just want to hear your opinion on that. And
can you repeat that for me? Making an issue out of what?
The whole controversy about how the Cowboys beat Detroit on Saturday. I feel if the Eagles would have won that game, that this would have been it would have been a footnote to the weekend, in my opinion. I just feel like they're stressing it more than what they should, based off the fact that we jumped to first place in the division. That's just how I see it, man. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that because Rex Ryan was about to blow a gasket, in the pregame shows on Sunday before Philly did all that. Those pregame shows on Sunday for the games, it was a huge topic. It was, and think about it. Detroit's a lovable team. If you don't, unless you're in Minnesota or Green Bay or Chicago or whatever.
Everybody like them,
Everybody, I mean, Dan Campbell, it was on Hard Knocks. Let's root for the Lions. He's going for it, aggressive, play to win, right? Well, you play to win when you don't think you're a better team. You do that kind of stuff. Go watch a football team, college, high school, pro. First play the games like a double reverse pass, throwback to the receiver, to the quarterback.
Right.
They're probably going to lose.
Yep.
They're probably going to lose, and they know it. So.
You're right.
And I like Dan Campbell. But I would have kicked the extra point after that. And back to the 7, I would have kicked the extra point.
Absolutely, man. Thanks, Nick.
All right.
Hey, I won't be at the game, man. I'm going to Baltimore this weekend. I'm going to just stop to the game on my way back to North Carolina. So I'll be there rooting on the boys.
Awesome. Well, if you're down there by the field, say hello. We'll be down there. So
You got it, man. I will.
All right. See you guys later. This has been Cowboys Storyline. Appreciate Chris Beam for all the hard work. You don't even know the hard work he's done today. I appreciate that, Chris. All right. I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. Talk about Cowboys in Washington.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?